Right, folks, this is what will be my entry for the LMMS competition. This is basically how I work in LMMS. Usually start off by sorting out the mixer and adding a few channels just with this plus button here. You can remove them easy enough. 16 is enough probably for what I have to work with. I've loaded up a kick here. Just I changed a few settings here to add a bit more, raised the end frequency up to over 50, put the click up full blast and noise to about halfway, and I think it's changed the length 385 milliseconds, but it's just to give it a slightly more snappy kick. And I have it, every instrument I usually put to its own channel to start off with, so I'll have like kick, snare, hi-hats, instruments along these here, and the last few I'll have effects in them for the sends, which basically means you can send parts of some of the dry signal or all of the dry signal to effect, and it'll have it. You can send multiple effects to a certain channel. So I'll turn this off a second. What I usually do is I would take notes of what I want in my song. So you can see, don't know if you can read that or not. Just take notes, could take a few days to do that. There's some other stuff I've written there too. I don't know if you can see that. I'll hold it back there. It's just kind of like my thoughts on paper. While I'm making this song, I'll probably not, well, I'll try not to speak too much, but any key points, I'll mention them. I've not really much idea what I'm doing. I think I'm going, well, I've written down a house tune for the competition, roughly about 128 BPM, like a 32 bar intro. That's like for DJ friendly sort of thing. I've written that over here. I'll just probably start off with a kick and some other kind of sound to complement it, but I'm thinking of like not a, like as a heavier 4 to the floor kick. I'm going to do like an offset on it and have 5 beats in it. It was something I was using in Bitwig earlier this week, and I come up with a good wee sound for kicking that. I just can't remember exactly. I'll try something like this. It's sort of experimental, really. Yep, that sounds pretty much like it. It's simple to do. There's another thing. The kick I've noticed is very erratic, and if you watch the levels here, like they drop a lot. Even if you just have a 4 bar, 4 kicks. So I could either bring the volume down or bring it down a bit anyway. We can always change everything at the end before the final mix down, and I'll add a limiter on here too. Just I would normally use a tap scale limiter. The hard limiter, I think, I'll try it. I haven't used that so well. And bring the dB limit down. Something like 3 or slightly over it, be okay. Right. This could be a long process. This video, I've got to, I think it's the end of this month here to get this song in. Right. I'll have a look at my notes here. Right, that's the start of that. I'm going to use that type of offbeat with probably like a tom drum type of sound, and I might have parts of it go back to the 4 to the floor beat again and just use that offset for the other sound. I'll be using risers and falls. That'll probably like white noise sweeps, possibly sidechain them to the kick, which when the kick is on full, the white noise will go down to no volume. Most of these are familiar with how to sidechain anyway. What if I hear some distorted sound with reverb and some echo send on the percussive tom bongo sound. Once I'm thinking that the intro will be like a build up to what will be the main chorus, which I'm thinking of like a lead sound breaking down just to have it, and maybe like, I'm not really sure, I'll just do that as I go along. Then I'm really bad at structuring songs. I just do it as I go and end up adding bits on and adding more bits on. Let's see. Oh yeah, and in this competition you're allowed to output you're allowed to mix down in Ardour on Audacity. I'll use Ardour probably because you can grab snippets of the songs, use reverse on them, time stretch and stuff like that. It's easy, really easy to do, but Ardour or Audacity can do all these things too. It's just a wee bit more cumbersome because there's not really any step grids like we have here, you know, where everyone snaps to it, where Ardour has this. So I highly recommend it. Let me have another look here. I'll be using snare rolls and kick rolls, and the thing I've done in a couple of my songs, I've used like a pause. You have a build up, maybe a drums or something, or a sweep, and it just, there's no audio at all, maybe a reverb tail or an echo tail off the last note, and you can have maybe like 4 beats or 8 beats, and then you kick in with the change in your bridge or whatever. So that's really it. I'll get going here and see what I can come up with. Let's see, I don't really even know what to do now while I work. I'll probably just work on this beat here for the intro and see, and a few sweeps here, and see what I can come up with. So another thing I would do is I would change the colours a lot while I'm doing different elements in the song editor. It's sort of easy to keep track of things. I've got like I've minimised these here down. Try to think of what settings that was you do that in. So you have to hover over to see what the instrument is and stuff. Compact track buttons, so some people maybe don't want to use that. I just use it well normally for more screen space, but this screen's a bit larger, maybe don't need that. But you can hover over everything and see what you have there, or what beat and bass line it is, automation track, sample track, etc, etc. Right, I wonder, I'll probably just go to the samples here and see if I can get something that I'll use that same pattern here. Just I'm looking for something like a bongo sound maybe. So I haven't really used LMMS in a while, so this is like kind of new to me again here. Probably a drum synth. Something like that I guess would sound good with a bit of reverb on it. What I'll do, open that up, put that to its own effects channel, but the next 3 ones too. I could actually add reverb into the channel itself, but since I'm probably going to be using a lot of reverb in this, I'll have a send channel. I'll just rename this bongo or something. We can start probably thinking of many instruments soon. I'll start and work backwards, put 20 on here, and I'll have this as reverb send. And I think calf reverb's very good. Let me see. Yeah, I'll try it anyway. Got a couple of VST ones there. Some of these here might not even be with LMMS. I've got Sign Reverb, I think that's Sign one, is it? I've probably installed that myself. I'll use one that most people have anyway, just for demo purposes. And right, I'll just copy this pattern down to the bongo for now and mute the kick. So I could add, if I chose this, I could add reverb in directly in there. But this is how you use sends, and some of you maybe aren't sure. Whatever track you've chosen, whatever sends on, whatever button you hit will send to it. But that's doubling the sound up. What you want to do is, from here, the master is always lit up. This is still sent to master, so you can bypass the master and just go straight. This will be the chain will be come from your bongo to your reverb, and then the reverb will be sending to the master. So if I turn this down, you're only hearing like the reverb now of this. If I turn the send down this, we should hear nothing. And put the send up come from this again, you'll hear just a dry signal again. And here's both. So I probably want slightly more reverb on it. I'll take the send off the original then down a bit. Take it right down actually. Mess about with these settings here. This is what I usually do, just play a live loop and start changing settings. Weight amount, like bring the decay time down a bit. Pre-delay. Hear this again with the two of them in. So you can see I'm picking badly over the master level here. I think we want to have limiters on more or less ever, and limiters or EQs. We'll just work with limiters for now. You don't really want to always be using a limiter because that can give you distortion as well when your sound's peaking, and that's working harder to cut your volume down. Right, no dry signal then. There's controls for this one. You can take the dry amount away down. And the volume from this signal here going to this, it'll be controlled by this now. So if you bring this down, you'll get nothing in the reverb as well. So use this here to get a happy medium. Right now I've got this pattern here. I'll change this back to a 4 to the floor kick again to see how they both sound together. Turn it on. Sounds like a wee bit too laggy with that pre-delay on it. And I think this bongo sound could go down an octave maybe. Try that to see what that sounds like. You'll have to pardon me, I've got a new mouse here and I'm having it's like a gaming mouse. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm just having a bit of difficulty getting used to it, especially for small movements. There's a DPI setting on it. You can really speed this thing up. You can get it flying. That's with Ubuntu itself. I have the mouse speed right down as well. That you can make this thing fly. Too fast. There's it down at slowest. I'll try it there. Something like that, but with maybe not as much reverb. You can put it off key. Them sounds will not even be in key anyway. Right, I think I could switch. I'll put these on a separate track each. I'll do everything in the separate bass lines, and then I can bring them together easier on the song editor. So I'll just cut this here and stick it into the next pattern, or copy actually. Add a new bass line, paste it in there. So just left and right clicking on this here switches between them, which is handy. I think I'll delete these here then. I should really get in the habit of naming these. Well, I will see them hovering over anyway. So start bassline not just with do that 4/4 kick. It's always important to label your stuff for songs, and then if you haven't used it as well, you can go back and you sort of know what you're doing. And it's easier in the beat and bass line. You can see it too. The second one will be, just call it bongo. See, then it's just a matter of hovering over and you see what you're on. Right, you can rearrange these things too by dragging them, so if you want something up above, Right, so that's just 40 floor kick. So we want to tune them in together, obviously. Change colours here, I always change colour. Just go to make up a random colour, I suppose. Oh, that's mouse. This will do something like this. Then as you make a song and progress on it, just try different things, muting things, moving things around, so you can hear the kick here on its own, and then the bongo coming in with it. Something like that. It sounds kind of like tribally, I think. I mean, I might switch between a straight kick and then doing the kick the same pattern as a bongo, so it's just a matter of, well, I have that already copied, so I should be able to just paste the new one in to the kick again, and there we go. So oh, come on mouse, it's really not working too well for me here. The mouse, switch this mouse over to my older one to get used to this one here, and that'll be a kick. I know variation VAR will do. Bring it up below the next kick, sort of try and keep your tracks together. Small things like this are important, I think. And start here, that'll take the colour for the last one, just change it again. I suppose you want to keep it something similar to what I'm using. A lot of blues here, I'll go for green or something. Yep. Right, so hovering over, that's a bongo, so we want that playing always. Just put a loop here at the end of the F bar. Put a loop on, hit space bar. Probably sounds better with the kick without the variation on it, the kick. So some things to do is maybe just control and drag, just double your pattern up even, so that I can just stretch this one out here even. Sometimes it's better to, if you want to, for example, if you just drag this over, oh mouse, come on, and you're playing through it, but you want to, there's no knife tool here, you know, so if you say this part here, you want that to be silent, you have to edit your song too much and drag things about, whereas I would work on maybe blocks of 4 or 8, even if you have to copy them over like that. It's just a simple matter of, say I want this last part here of the bongo being silent, if I can grab it. So you can see the idea. Sometimes we minor things like that help. It's just demonstration there, it goes a wee bit too silent. Change this up to the end of the 16th bar. Right, now that I've that done, I'll probably change that whole thing, you know, but that gives me a structure now to work on to get timing right of things. Alright, this here, I'll use triple oscillator while it's there. It's got white noise in it. We only need a single oscillator. We'll make a filter sweep. So just every key will sound the same on the white noise. It doesn't really matter in there. Don't think pulse width modulation or analog. Oh, and that's one silent there. Where's that a bug? Anyway, I just keep on mix the other twos down. Next thing I want to do is go to envelope LFO, and we'll just use the built-in filters. We want to, if it's going to be an uprising suite, we want a high pass. Put the filter on. If it's all the way down to 1 Hz, it should sound the same. I'll just put my MIDI controller, enable it in through this here. Launch key mini. Just squeezing people's ears here, not press the buttons too hard, sorry. Now we can see if we've got the frequency, we get like a filter sweep effect. It's not a good idea to go too low, it seems to be buggy. So white noise, probably listen to that starting around here somewhere. And if we want the sweeps, we don't want the sweeps going the whole way across these 16 bars. We want them, I ideally like them, well, I suppose we could, if we use a volume envelope here too, an automation. So I'll drag this automation up here, just below this track. Click to start. I think you have to actually have a block here on the automation before you can drop anything onto it. Just drag it out this length. We're happy with the frequency where it was at. Resonance, we're not bothered with that. So control, drag it up in here. We also actually want to put a note up here, any note, a full length 16 bars. So just go to this one anyway. If I can get a hold of the end of this here. For my next part I'll change this mouse. Although I change the middle, let's change the settings here, that's to get it slowed down. Oh, I just can't get on, get used to this mouse. That's that slowed down now. It's like too fast for working in LMMS. There's a thing there I would like in the LMMS too, when you drag this over that everyone scrolls with it. I think that's a known feature request. So it's things like this here that kill your workflow. And that's us to the end of the 16th bar. So the note 16 bars and the LFO cutoff frequency 16 bars. So what we might do is this setting here will be is already what we've dragged in, 2845 Hz. Double clicking this. At the start here, this is, we usually have to click here to register a point. Drag this across. It won't go any further than this, so we'll move this somewhere we're not going to drag anything else. Drag this window out, move it. Come on mouse, drag it out. Right, here we go. So I could probably scale this up. I'll try it. Holding shift down before we insert a point, I'll make a continuous sweep. And we don't want that. As you can see, sweeping the whole way up. And well, let's set it 16, so that's okay. We'll use the three most discrete, linear and cubic Hermite. We'll use that. That gives you more of a higher scale. It gives you more if you're doing more changes, but it's be less noticeable the changes. Close that down. Right, so we'll play what we have made so far. Just too long for a filter sweep. And another thing is, well, we can actually, I was thinking that was a sample track, put this on its FX3 on its own channel. We'll stick a limiter and maybe an EQ on this, like another high pass, just to make sure there's no low frequencies. Tap scale limiter. Bring it down, -3, 4, something like that. Add an EQ. Free band EQ should be good enough. Yeah, low, mids and highs. Get rid of the lows. And the low to mids 440. And the mid to highs 1000. That looks okay, I think. Don't know much about that really, but it looks okay. Right, so we'll just delete this here. We're going to make this into a shorter. Delete that as well. Make this into a shorter sweep at 4 bars or something. We'll start it here. We can just copy it over. We don't want last note here either. just drag this out for 4 bars. I draw automation in below it. Close. And that's the automation of the high pass filter. I think we could actually raise it up a bit higher, make it more subtle. Control drag that in, and shift drag the right there. Don't make the same mistake at home, folks. Oh god, this is just not my day. Well, the next thing I'm going to just switch up mouse live here. I think this one works. Let me see. That feels weird using this, but I should have more control with it. Right. Double click that. Close that down for now, give us a bit more screen space. So as again, click the first point in roughly if you want. I'm not too caring about exact measurements here. And then go to the end of the 4th bar. As I can make it as a finer adjustment, 64ths. Bring the scale up a bit to see what I'm at. See the scale is. Yeah, I'll probably able to work with that. And then shift, click, close that down, stretch that out, and hit play now to see what we have. Still sounds like crap. Probably put some reverb on it here or something. I'll send it to the reverb channel actually. Let's send it full here. I'll just loop. Nope. Loop to there just. So we don't get double up sound, we'll bring down the main. Didn't sound full enough, that. Right. Let me bring in another more white noise. Not sure if these things here will take effect on it. Fine detuning and stuff, I'll try them anyway. Pitch has no effect, we look at. Nope. I'll just call this white noise or something. Could be affecting that a bit, maybe. Try a bit of low on it here. Right, this likes to sound better if I use a bit of side chaining on it. So I add peak controller onto the kick. Right, sit out there for a minute, just sort out the settings, and then my white noise, right click here, connect to controller. Only have one controller, so that's controller 1. Okay. So the bass is a center. If I remember correctly, the amount has to go to -1. We'll test this now and see. So I'll probably need a multiplier in this here to give it a bigger effect. They sound good like that, so we'll swap our kicks around here. So it's just getting it's coming off a straight 4-bar kick, or 4-beat kick. Now that sounds better. So now that we have that sweep, we can just control click it and double it up. Make a slight variation in this second one here. We could bring the sweep back down again at the end of it. So just click somewhere around the middle, and then shift click down a bit lower. Maybe even keep it just in line again with that roughly. Try to go as close to the end as we can. May have to zoom in and change a few points. I think just right click here and go to the end of this sweep. Last few points down then. Right, middle click to put that right by the start. It gets monotonous sometimes making a song, but you have to do these small things here to get your sound right and stuff. Just it stops a bit suddenly after the sweep, so I think we need a bit of delay on them there. Right, white noise. We'll try a bit more centered of the original signal. I'll put delay straight on this channel here, or I could actually send it to another. Well, I'll do that actually. Show you. Double click, delay. Probably have a few different delays, so we'll call this delay 1. We can move them about on the mixer if we want. Delay echo. One of my favourites is the Calf Vintage delay. We can solo, even take those down. No, we need the kick actually. Just look this part here. Right, I'll close a few of these down here. There's when you open this up automatically, there's no amount on it. I think something in round 2 usually sounds good. We'll let this loop go past a bit here to hear the delay itself. Hold on, I put that on the wrong channel. I haven't sent it yet, that's what's wrong. We'll hear it better now. And that's way too. Need to mount the way down. These mix modes, I'm not sure what they are really. take this down a bit. On this delay one, we have an EQ on it as well. We'll put more bands on it. Maybe actually if I moved it up, that'll only let certain frequencies through for the delay. Let's see, we can remove all the really low frequencies here. Turn up the amount a bit now. I've had better sounding sweeps in this here before, but you can always come back to that anyway. That gives us an idea of where we're going to next. What am I doing? Right click here. Right, so what do we have so far? Not much. I don't know how long I've been at this far. And it would help if I had a non here. What it would sound like if I had a different kind of wave along with the sweep. I'll turn the volume down before I try this. I'll probably not hear too much. Try different modulations. The EQ's filtering out a wee bit too much of it maybe. Oops. Keep them really high ones away down. I think for us to hear that square wave, that's probably too low frequency. There's where the pitch. Yeah, I've just sort of experimented there and with a bit of square wave. Could actually bring the free oscillators into play. Try a triangle or something. This one. Right, I think I'll maybe try an LFO one, and of course de-tuning of these here. So controller rack, add an LFO, and we'll connect these. We'll add two LFOs at two different speeds. Right, the first one. Right, I think that's the first one. Connect to controller, and this will be controller 2. That's just doing a sine wave LFO. You can right click here, change your tempo sync. Speed that one up a bit. And we'll connect that to the third controller. Now Now we've got a still think we've probably too much white noise there. Sync seems to take some mix here, I think. Just use mixing both of them. Right, what do we have so far then? Middle click to get your starting loop point, and right click at the back here and play. Right, what I showed earlier about the gap here, I'll turn off, that's the kick one, isn't it? Right, the 4 kick and the bongo. I think I'll take the kick off at the end here for a sort of bridge to the next part. Maybe even start the next part, leave a gap, although DJs won't like this here because it'll mess up their timing if they were mixing the song in, but sure, that's all part of the fun. It's for the competition anyway. So just copy this over again to show you what way it would go. There's probably an easier way of doing this, of copying the whole block and then just putting as it's shift and insert, I think. Let's see, shift and insert moves ever and after the pointer, I think. Let me try this here. Yeah, and shift and delete brings it back. But anyway, up, and then the sweep, just copy the first one over. Could probably change that. So now we have something like this. Up, go to start. Another thing I was thinking of doing is it's like big room house, you'd probably hear some of it. The kick has like a reverb of the kick itself along with it. I'm not 100% sure. See, I think that sounds good, just that wee break there. Just 4 beats. Each time you do this, I'll maybe add a wee variation in here, some kind of extra beats or sounds or something. Ideally I want a 32 bar build up. Right, I'm going to pause this video and I'll get back to it shortly.